replace that with Lobos. I don't need no electrolytes in my life tonight. Enjoy this. The Lobos.
We're going to start with Steve on the right for Draymond.
Hi, Draymond. Andre, when he was in here, made an interesting point, I thought. He was talking about the chemistry of your core, you and Steph and Clay being together. And he mentioned them from the standpoint of they grew up in NBA lives, and that maybe your background, a little grittier, brought more of an edge. How do you think that chemistry, that mix of your personalities has, fed this whole run?
It's amazing because none of us are the same. And, you usually clash with people when you're alike. And I think the one thing that's constant for us is winning is the most important thing. And that is always the goal. That is always the main focus. It's not it's not this is Olive, everyone. I know y'all don't usually get to see her. She is the life of all of this. His family. But, I'm sorry, Steve, I totally lost my train. For us, it's just about getting back to these moments and winning, and we know what that feels like, and ultimately, we know what that takes. Please stop making the noise, big man. And we know what that takes, and we rely on each other, we depend on each other for if I may struggle in one area, Steph just isn't going to go try to do it. We rely on each other for what we're great at, and it still has not been proven when we hold that anybody can stop it.
On the left.
Draymond, Young was ESPN. Congrats.
Thank you. There's a lot of Spartans in here tonight.
I missed them.
And I'm about to go turn up with them when we done.
What does winning Finals MVP do for Steph's career? I mean, he's done so much. He's one of only 7 guys that's won Finals MVP, regular MVP, scoring title, All-Star MVP. And also, you talked about how no one has knocked you guys off when you guys are healthy. What's next for you guys? How far can you guys take this? You guys have 4 now.
I'm not sure. I don't like to put a number on things. And say, oh, man, we can get 5 or we can get 6 or we're going to get them until the wheels fall off. And, that's our goal, to compete at this level every year. I think, when you look at a guy like Steph Curry, to have the season that he's had, to have the career that he's had, it's absolutely amazing. And to stamp that with a Finals MVP, I know he said it don't matter, and it doesn't matter in the sense of like, oh, well, his legacy is not quite this unless he gets that. Like, that's garbage. Still Steph Curry, still an all-time great. But to add that to your resume as a competitor, you want that, And, for him, it's well-deserved. It's been a long time in the making. But he left no doubt. And he carried us. And we're here as champions.
Davide on the left.
Hi, Draymond. Davide Chinellato with the Gazzetta from Italy. I have 2 for you. The first one is about, sharing this championship with your children. How does it make you feel? And the other one is what you would have told to yourself when you entered the NBA now.
It's absolutely amazing to share this with my kids. One of them not being up here, my wife and my brother and my mom. It's this is what you do it for. I've always said, I want to. One of my motivations to get back to playing at a high level was because they weren't old enough to remember me playing at a high level. You look at the last 2 years prior to this one, and you think of their ages that they've gone on the last 2 years. She was 4, he was 2. Like, they didn't remember anything, and so a huge part of my motivation coming into this year was to show them that, I can be at this level and to give them an understanding and, to ultimately close it out. I always say, during the playoffs, like, my family takes a back seat to everything. Everyone does. Everything does. It's all about what can I do to put myself in a better position. to win a championship, to close out a series, to play good games, and that requires in such a high amount of focus. And I didn't see them all day today. Like, they're sitting in the same hotel. Didn't see them all day. Like, but ultimately it's a sacrifice, and try to get them to understand. But the things that they don't understand, once they see the prize at the end, it'll better help them understand, and teaching them how to work. And if you do work hard, there are prizes at the end. And I think for me to share these experiences with them is that's what the journey is all about.
We'll go to Michael on the right.
Michael Pina, Sports Illustrated. Draymond, can you just speak to how important and impressive your team's defense was throughout these finals?
We've always spoke about our defense, and it's been a constant for us. We've won championships, and I think the lowest defense we've had winning a championship was like 7 or 8. But when you have such a sexy offense, and guys shooting the ball like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole, when you have that, it's always going to be sexier, and people are always going to appreciate that more. And like, oh, well, if you look at their offense, like, we beat this team because of our defense. There were, I don't know, did they score 100 points tonight? That's what, 4 out of 6 games they didn't score 100 points? We beat them because of our defense, and that's always been a constant for us. You don't win a championship without a great defense, and we know that. We understand that. We pride ourselves on the defense, and ultimately understanding that our defense will allow our offense to flourish.
CJ on the right.
Not sure if you plan on recording tonight, but if you are, it should be one
I am.
heck
I'm
of an
about to
episode,
record back there.
Should be one heck of an episode, huh?
Yeah, Draymond Green show, live from the NBA Finals. It's about to go down back there, so y'all look out. It's going to be an incredible episode. And I told y'all on there before, don't let us win. Everybody got mad at me for cussing with my kids up here. But you know the rest. Championship. And they let us win a championship, and you're going to hear about it. So tune in. This is going to be epic. Jordan Poole going to be on there. Might have Steph Curry on there. Might have Klay Thompson on there. Might have Olive on there. DJ on there. It's going to be an incredible episode. So watch out.
We'll go to
New media. That's what we do.
We'll go to Chris in the back with the final question.
Y'all gonna get this podcast, Andre?
Huh?
Y'all gonna get this podcast, huh?
They going to get this podcast. Ain't nobody complain all playoffs, have a couple bad games. Stop doing the podcast. It ain't stopping. Y'all going to get this podcast. They're going to get it all summer and next year too. It's here. It is what it is.
Dre, congrats, brother.
Thank you, brother.
I wanted to ask, what was the adjustment like for you during this series as you had the crowd doing what they doing, saying what they saying, and it seemed like it was an adjustment for you to kind of get through that. Can you walk me through the process?
Game 3, it just caught me off guard. Like you've heard crowds boo, and I had never heard an entire crowd yelling "F you, Draymond." Like that was a different thing. And then so you couple that with having a so-so game, and it's like, oh man. And then I thought, when I speak of the new media, then and going into Game 4, it was made out like, oh, he's having this terrible series. But if you know basketball and you watch Game 1, I did not have a bad Game 1, and I had an incredible Game 2. And Game 3 was kind of like terrible, awful. And Game 4 was like not my best effort, but not totally terrible, And Game 5, I was pretty solid. Came out with great energy. Game 6, I dominated. But if you read these narratives, I think Stephen A. said, like, he's having the most horrific finals of an NBA starter in the history. Like, dude, you ain't got to be that. You ain't got to exaggerate that much. That's ridiculous, But you'll hear more about that on the podcast tonight. But, for me, it was just about staying the course. And I knew that I hadn't had a great game yet. I had good games. I was clamping and doing things, but I hadn't quite put it all together yet. And for me, I said, what better time than to put it together tonight? I don't think I heard F.U. Draymond all night. They couldn't. So, it's easy to chant F.U. when somebody having a bad game, but can you do that when they having a great game? I didn't hear much of it tonight. Maybe I was just that locked in. But second team to win and close it out in TD Garden, right? Why not us? Who better than us? 4 times. Who better than us?
Jordan's right there.
Okay. They're interviewing me. Okay. All right, sit. All right, y'all sit down.
Good to go.
We good? Say peace.
Peace. Peace. DJ.
I didn't want to interrupt whatever secrets you were hearing just now. So.